Hey, it's Phil at Digital DJ Tips. I want to talk to you about this. It's the Global DJ Census. We do this every year. We ask the DJ community to tell us their age, where they are, what they DJ with, what they play on their equipment, where they play, what their aspirations are. Do they live stream? Do they use stems? What software they use, etc., etc., etc. This document, completed by 14,000 DJs this year, is a Bible for understanding this market for all the companies that are in this industry. And if I'm a little bit late getting this out to the industry, trust me, my inbox fills up. Phil, when can we have it? Here's a list of the companies that have been involved this year, but we have a rotating list of companies that help out and that look forward to this information. But we also release this information to you. And I'll tell you how you can get a copy of this survey. I mean, look at it. There's a lot of detail in here. So if you're interested in the world that you're part of, in the DJ world, where people are, what they do, and all those things I was just talking about, this document is what you want. But I just want to zoom in on one or two things now, because I'm going to tell you where you can get this. So I don't want to just go through it page by page, but I do want to zoom in on one or two things that might just surprise you. So let's start here, right at the very beginning. What is your age? Now look, if you think DJing is a young person's game, then think again. The biggest single group are 45 to 54-year-old DJs here. And 1 in 5 DJs are over 55. DJing has become something that is mainstream. DJing has become something that is across all age groups, which of course means that there's no right or wrong way to do it. It's clearly much bigger than the club nowadays, because I'll tell you what, a lot of these people are going nowhere near the club. And it's also never too late to start. I always say, you know, if you walk past a music shop window nowadays, you see bass guitar, lead guitar, drums, synth, and a DJ controller. You know, these things are now there along with all the other ways of expressing yourself with music. So this is an interesting one, right? And this underpins a lot of the other information in this, because we find out that people are live streaming, that they're doing stuff that means they don't have to leave their home. They're just making mixes for themselves and their friends. We're going to move on to that in a second. But I want to now move forward in this quite a long way, because we talk about DJ gear in here quite a lot, but also we talk about computing. And so this stat here is something I wanted to zoom in on. Which of these computing devices do you have and do you use regularly? These are the two I wanted to show you, because people think all DJs are young dudes with Macs. Well, they're not all young and they haven't all got Macs. Look at this. Windows is in fact the most popular single platform among DJs. I mean, these stats here tell us a couple of things. One, they tell us that laptop DJing, if you use a laptop DJing is still way dominant. You know, iPads and phones and stuff, yeah, they're a nice idea, but no one uses them compared to laptops. You know, if you're going down that route, then you're going to be using a proper laptop. That's the first thing. But secondly, it doesn't make a damn difference which laptop you use, as you can see, because more people actually use Windows than Mac. The truth is that most of the big DJ platforms work absolutely fine on both, and most of the things that you need are nothing to do with the fact that it's a Windows computer or a Mac computer. It's to do with the amount of RAM you've got, it's to do with the power in your processor, the amount of hard disk space and so on. So as long as your computer is built for the job, it's not flimsy, it's not going to break, it's got a bright screen that you can use, it's fast enough, etc., etc., it doesn't matter what you're using. Don't ever feel you need to have a Mac. Now, we use Macs here, and we always have, but that doesn't mean you have to. We've worked with PC manufacturers as well. We've done tuition on PCs. And I can tell you that once you get used to the basics of how to move files around and how to copy and back up and so on, it really doesn't matter what you use, okay? So it's half and half out there, despite what the influencers and the YouTubers and anyone else might try and tell you. There's no difference. And as you can see, people don't seem to really care in the real world. I want to move on now to another interesting stat about the real world, because this is something we're always being asked. You guys know which is the most popular DJ software. Well, let's show you for sure. Based upon our survey, these are the most popular DJ platforms. And there's a few changes here over the years I want to talk you through. Let's zoom right in on this nice and tight so we can see them. Right, so right at the top, slowly but surely pulling away from all the others is Rekordbox, which is the software platform that powers Alpha Theta and Pioneer DJ gear. But there is a caveat. Just behind it is Serato, right? Which has always been by far the only real competitor. But Rekordbox does two things. Rekordbox lets you prepare your music to use on standalone DJ gear, and the professional gear you find in the DJ booth that doesn't need a laptop, and also its laptop software. Whereas Serato is only laptop software. If you pulled out the people who are only using Rekordbox to prepare their music, Serato is still up front the leading platform. Not by a long distance, but it's still the leading platform. We can figure that out by overlaying this info over the info about how many DJs use controllers compared to how many DJs use standalone gear. So in truth, this is slightly misleading. Serato is probably still the number one laptop platform. Rekordbox is the number one overall that's being used for those two purposes, preparing and exporting, and also for DJing on Rekordbox equipped controllers. But looking a bit further down, there's some more interesting points further down here as well. We're seeing the rise of Engine DJ, which is a standalone only platform. So everyone using this is using it to export their music to play on standalone gear. And this is a creditable rise year on year. But also, we're also seeing Virtual DJ pulling away from Traktor. That's what we're seeing here now. Traktor was where Virtual DJ is just 2 or 3 years ago, and Virtual DJ was where Traktor is. The other thing about these software stats that I think would be interesting that we don't actually have is, we ask people, what software do you use the most? If we said, what's your favorite second platform? I can tell you that Algorithms DJ Pro and probably Virtual DJ would take up a lot of that, because people, hey, us hobby DJs, we don't have to stick to one platform. We know anecdotally that those software platforms are very, very popular with people who are happy to use one or two or have a backup platform or whatever. Right, the next thing I want to move on to, you can see so much stuff here that's really interesting, but the next one and the final one I'm going to do in this video is this one here. Which of these best describes your DJing style? Because this has changed over the years. Trust me, we've been running this for a long time. Right now, the most popular style of DJing, as you can see by a long, long way, is multi-genre mixing DJ. In other words, open format. Behind that, and now quite a long way behind that, albeit it's still the interest of, a large chunk, nearly a third of people, over a quarter, is single genre mixing DJ, right? Oh, I play house, oh, I play techno, I play trance, whatever. And these DJs are mixing, they're beat mixing, right? This is the way DJing to a lot of people, especially older people like me, was always done. But parallel to that has always been the hip hop open format scene. And what we've seen going on here, and what's powering this big green bar at the top, a lot of it is mobile DJs who are finally realizing, I say finally, but who are realizing that they can't just turn up and play records end to end with a microphone anymore. The audiences are expecting mixing, right? So this, Whisper It, is not actually that hard to do. Beat mixing with 2 tracks in the same genre, not very hard. This, if you're not mixing, playing all the kinds of genres that you want, mobile gigs and so on, party gigs, it's not very hard. Combining the two is difficult. And this bar here, the yellow bar, this kind of like mobile DJing and not really doing any mixing and so on, still time for it, there's still places for it, but it's shrinking because those DJs are moving up here, because the audience is now the couples who are getting married, the people who are having their birthday parties, their 18th and their 21st and so on. They're the generation that's come up through festivals and through big name DJs and through clubbing, and who want to hear that kind of mixing, even with the music that gets played at open format parties. Which is why, of course, here at Digital DJ Tips, our Jazzy Jeff courses, all of our mixing courses do really, really well inside our Digital DJ Lab platform, where we add what we call mix deconstructions, where we take really iconic mixes by big name DJs and show you how they're done. There's 100 different mixes in there, and they're very, very popular for this reason, because this is the biggest growth area in DJing for sure. I think it's also powered by the fact that modern gear has got so much that you can do so easily. Stems and really, really good gridding to hold everything tight together, and great looping and effects. It lends itself to learning to mix with music that previously was unmixable. We call it the anything into anything style of mixing. Okay, so that's all I'm going to pull out now. Otherwise, we could sit here and go on forever. As you saw, this is a really, really big document. That's all I'm going to talk about for now. But I want you to have a copy of this. I want you to grab a copy of this. So the way to get this is to click on the link underneath and then give us your email address. We will email you the full PDF. As you can see, it's about 56 pages or something. There's a lot of great information in here. It's a fascinating document to have. We don't only do it for the industry, we do it for you as well. So if you'd like a copy of the 2025 Global DJ Census, and you want to know all those things in there, how DJs are using AI, how they're live streaming, whether they're producing, what production software they use, what download stores they use, if they do, where they download their music from, and all those kinds of things that you saw me flicking past there, it's all in this document, and I want you to have a copy of it. Click the link, grab your copy, and finally, underneath in the comments, tell me what surprised you the most. Was it the age of DJs? Was it the fact that more DJs use Windows than use Mac? Was it the fact that Rekordbox is now the #1 software platform? Or maybe one of the other ones isn't as big as you thought it was? And is it the fact that DJs are now predominantly really interested in playing all kinds of music and learning how to mix everything into everything, as opposed to just beat mixing in one genre or even just not bothering? Let us know. I'm really interested to know what you think underneath, whether it surprised you, whether you disagreed with it. I really do want to have a chat with you in the comments about those things. But meanwhile, this is Phil in the Digital DJ Tips School Studio saying, get good, get out there, make the moments, and I'll see you again very soon. Bye for now.